Hello, selamat petang. I am Uncle Robin, okay, and welcome to workshop at Astro AWANI LINC. Wow, I'm so happy, Uncle, so happy. All you guys can join me and also our two guests tonight, But our topic tonight really power lah, I tell you. And our guest even more power. Wah, tonight topic Goyang Kaki, Dividen Mari. Boleh kah? But okay lah. Before that mari kami tengok satu video dulu . Uncle also very excited for tonight, punya topik Goyang Kaki Dividen Mari and also we have a powerful duo dalam workshop kami malam ni. Panelis kami memang expert lah, dalam topik money ini. Ini dua orang ada lebih dari 10 tahun experience in financial planning. Wah, itu memang sifuan lah this one. Ini orang lagi ada YouTube channel lagi, huyo, bukan main-main I tell you. So, Peter, or also known as Mr. TV, and Frankie Lim, welcome to this workshop and thank you for joining us. Peter and Frankie.
Hello.
Hai, good evening Uncle Robin. Apa macam?
Halo Uncle Robin, apa macam hari ni?
Wah, ini macam okay lah, relax, santai. But most important, after dua lencai with Uncle old folks like me wah, very very happy lah. Okay, but sebelum mula let's have some housekeeping rules in place so that kita punya session ni tak ganggu punya. Mau safe, smooth. Okay, let's watch this another video.
Kami sarankan anda menutup semua tab-tab audio dan video untuk memaksimumkan rangkaian bandwidth anda. Jika anda mengalami sebarang masalah teknikal, sila tekan butang reconnect berwarna merah untuk disambung semula. Jika terdapat kegagalan teknikal yang serius membabitkan sebilangan besar peserta, kami akan melakukan sistem reset. Anda akan dimasukkan ke dalam bilik webinar baru secara automatik. Sila ajukan sebarang soalan kepada speaker dan pastikan anda menekan butang Mark as Question dan kami akan menyampaikannya kepada host webinar. Akhir sekali, kami ingin mendengar pendapat anda tentang pengalaman webinar ini. Jika anda berpuas hati, berikan kami rating 5 bintang. Selain itu, hantarkan komen anda melalui borang contact us di laman web kami iaitu link.astroawani.com.
Okay. Frankie, Peter, apa macam?
Bagus.
Baru makan. What about yourself? Sudah makan?
Good. I also makan already lah. Ayo, I think 3 of us we look like this, right? We can be like, the Powerpuff Boys
Powerpuff Boys Not bad. Good idea.
Yeah, we talk money. Whoa, that's the best topic. My uncle really love lah this one. And I think all the audience here also like lah. Okay. So, from what I know, Peter, it seems like it's your second time here with Astro AWANI. So, yeah. It seems like you like to come back to Astro AWANI. So, am I right to say?
Yeah, Astro AWANI lah. Wow, it's like an honor to be on Astro AWANI tau. Since young already house got Astro. Last time I watched Astro, now I on Astro.
Next time you own Astro, can or not?
But Frankie, it's your first time. So, welcome and thank you for being with us. So, how do you feel? It's your first time here with Astro.
Yeah, it's good. It's great. It's a very good platform. And then together with my friend here today, we are going to have a very good time together.
So uncle already feel young already. You two young people here with me. Hiyo. Okay. Now today's topic very, very interesting. Now a lot of people are very more open to investments lah, you know. But you know, investment got banyak jenis lah, you know, the investment. And then our topic today Goyang Kaki, Dividen Mari. Wah, really betul you know. True just goyang kaki, then the duit can really mari You know, bunyi macam scam aja. Okay lah. Before that, let's talk about what is investment first lah. Okay. For all the audience with us if all of you got question please type them in, and at the side you can actually mark as question. Okay, Uncle will try to forward all your questions to Peter and Frankie. But kalau Uncle miss out your question, Uncle say sorry first lah. Uncle mata, you know, also rabun sikit lah. Now also malam already. Okay, so let's start off with the first, you know, what are we going to talk about and what is this workshop about? You know, pandemic now is actually a tough time lah. Everybody now so try to find more money lah. So Uncle know lah, you know, investment got many types this lah, investment in that lah, then dividend lah, then stock lah. Stock. Talk about stock you know, Uncle Young that time watch a lot of, you know, Hong Kong movies you know, people invest in stock then suddenly they become very rich then you know, they got buy big cars lah, big house. Peter, what do you think? Really can this one?
Wow, can happen. Not as dramatic sometimes, but it can also be very dramatic. I think just take for last year as an example. We see suddenly all our friends start talking about the stock market. Many people that we know make money from the stock market. Now, the question is whether can you consistently make money, or is just that 1 year make money So that is the main thing But generally, if you got money, if you put into the stock market, make the right move, yes, it can make you very rich.
Wow. Patrick, what do you think? Really or you have to consistently, like, you know, hopefully you put money into stock market like makan every day you also makan, right? Consistently, hopefully every day you also can makan money from this stock market. But is it achievable, or is it just a dream you know, like Uncle also want to know Uncle not very young Uncle look young but actually not very young So Patrick, what do you think?
First of all, who is Patrick?
Sorry,
Uncle memory,
Uncle Robin, your
memory left.
I don't know why I keep saying Patrick. Maybe Uncle was back and Patrick. Okay.
So funny if you have forgot the question.
See, okay, luckily yours.
Okay.
You're over, not sleeping. You can catch Uncle say wrong thing.
Okay.
What do you think, Frankie?
Okay, so investing in stocks for dividend is one of the method for a lot of investors. Ultimately, a lot of people, when they do investments, what they want is actually a stable income. A good stable income stream would actually come from dividend, because if you are going after the capital gains, stock prices go up and down every day, right? So there are good days and there are also bad days. But dividend, as long as a company makes profit and it has a dividend policy in place, it is very likely that you will get a very steady stream of income, passive income.
I think having said that, even certain governments, like state government, actually have heavily invested in certain stocks that pays very good dividend.
Correct.
Yeah, in order to depend on it as a government income, you know. Yeah, so it is real it is not talk only Yeah.
Yeah, and dividend also becomes a very good buffer for share price. So just to give you an example, right? Let's say a stock can give you 10% dividend yield. And let's say today market crash, right? KLCI index dropped from 1006 to 1004, 200 points today. How much do you think this stock that gives you 10% dividend yield drop? It's probably not a lot, because whenever it drops, the dividend yield becomes higher. It becomes more exciting and more interesting. Wow, from 10% dividend yield now becomes 11, 12, 13. So many people would jump into the bandwagon and say, I want to own these stocks because it is so cheap now that the dividend yield increases. So very likely that in a volatile market, dividend stocks are usually more stable.
Okay, so what you are trying to say, So this dividend is like, it's more safe lah. So it's actually good lah. Like uncle like the age not very young anymore. So you are saying that it's actually a good form of investment to go into compared to the stock market lah. Okay. So but before that lah, just that I think a lot of people also don't really understand what is dividend and actually how dividend works. And you say company lah, and then just now share price, okay. But I think a lot of people, banyak orang I know in this audience, maybe they don't know, or maybe first time hearing this word dividend. Maybe Frankie, can you share further?
Okay. So first of all, we need to understand where dividend comes from, where the company get the money to pay you dividend, right? So any companies in the world, all they what they do is a business, right? So every company does a business. So a business would have revenue. When they sell something, they get revenue. And then to produce that revenue, they have to put in costs. They need to put in machines to build the product, things like that.
Pay salary,
pay electricity, and all that. So after deducting all these costs, what it comes down is the profit. Now, the profit will then be paid to the banks if the business borrowed money from the bank to start the business. And then after that, they will also need to pay the suppliers who supplies the raw material to produce the products. So once these creditors and debtors are being paid off, what is left from the net profit can be shared among shareholders. So this money that is being shared around, it's called dividend. So that is the concept of dividend.
Yeah, basically when you think about investing stock market, when you think about buying a stock, a saham kan, you are actually buying the ownership of a company. Yeah, so you try imagining, right? Like a stock is like, let's say today we look at a company, you think of it like a cheesecake, and then you slice it into 10 pieces, 10 keping, then each keping is one share. So when you buy one share, right, it's the same idea. You buy one keping of cake like that. So you own the overall cake, you own 1/10. That is the idea of a share. And when you buy a share, there's two ways that you can make money as an investor. Number one is the share price increaser. So let's say today you buy this cake at 1 ringgit, 1 keping. Tomorrow you take it out from a fridge and you realize that, hey, people are saying that this cheesecake is so good. I want to buy from you, you know. So now is people offering you say 1 ringgit and 50 cents for 1 keping, and you decided to sell it. And once you sell it, you untung 50%. Yeah, so that is what we call a capital gain. Now, then the second way is actually earning through a dividend income. So imagine this: the cake is actually a company. Imagine today you own this cake, right? And this cake every year will print.
Will grow in size.
Yeah, will grow in size. It'll become bigger. Or maybe we say that every year it'll print 10 ringgit out for you. Okay, it'll print 10 ringgit for you. Then since it print 10 ringgit for the cake and you own 1/10 of the cake, you own 1 keping mah. Because 10 keping you own 1 keping. So you dapat 1 ringgit because out of 10 keping, 10 divided by 10, you get 1, right? So you get some share in the money. Now, so the good thing about dividend and versus capital gain is this. For the first method is you need to sell. So if you sell the stock already, then you got no more stock already mah. After you jual, you tak ada stock lagi.
Correct.
Then how are you gonna earn the second boleh untung second time already? But you take dividend every year, you boleh dapat. Now the easiest to think about it is also like we buy house. I think all of us are very familiar with investing in property kan. Same thing. Today you beli satu rumah dekat Damansara, you can choose to either sell it or rent it out to people. If you sell, you make money one time. One time you make big money, see you, goodbye, take care. Then in future, no more. But if you choose to take rental, that is like dividend. So imagine today if you want to retire, right? You got 10 houses that give you rental every month. That's a good thing.
I see. Very interesting. So it's like for some people, so means what you're trying to say, that Uncle Young that time, look at all those Hong Kong movie, then malam ini dia pergi itu invest dalam stock, then next day become millionaire. That is stock, and then you are saying capital gain. Is that correct?
Yes.
Wow. If you want a more stable, like every month, like a rental kind of thing, every month will have money coming in, then that is called dividend lah, per se. But I think dividend is every setiap tahun lah. If the company make money from the profit and what's not, it will become a dividend to you all for shareholders. Okay, so okay lah. But okay, audience, I'm just trying. What we are trying to say here, we are just trying to explain between what is dividend, what is stock investing, and stuff, but we are not telling you what to invest in. So eventually, it is still up to you guys to really go and study and think. So which one is more suitable for you? You know, the three of us Powerpuff Boys here are not saying that stock is the best, dividend is the best. So eventually, it's still up to you. Okay, so for you talk about dividend ini benda and all that, okay, but how do you buy dividend, or how do you invest in dividend per se? How do you start or maybe Peter can take this question. How do you start really? If today uncle want to go and buy dividend, how
Uncle, you misunderstood us a little bit. Dividend is not a financial asset class. Dividend is
it's a distribution of income from a stock.
Correct.
So you can't say buy dividend. You can say buy a stock that gives dividend.
Correct.
Yeah, but generally, yeah.
Okay, so the reason uncle asked this question because a lot of people maybe they have not invested anything, you know, in their life before. So maybe they will go out, they say, hey, uncle or auntie, or I want to buy dividend. So maybe they don't understand. So can you maybe
right.
that maybe you need to acquire or buy stocks of a certain company, then you are entitled for dividend.
That's right. Yeah. So how to pick this kind of stock that gives good dividend, right? You have to look at a business. I think a lot of people sometimes bila thinking about investing in stock kan, they think of it very complicated. They think like stock investing is like very high tech, very complicated. You need to be very good in accounting. But sebenarnya kan, you don't really need that. You just need to think very logically. Okay, very simple. For example, today, if your friend say, I want to open a nasi lemak store, he say, hey, my nasi lemak is the best in the world. My mother teach me how to make it. And since young, we already make nasi lemak every day. You know, wow, this is fantastic. I guarantee you eat already, you will come back every day. So what your friend did is that he go to the roadside, at the traffic light there, he opened a table. You know, now a lot of people at the traffic light, they sell jambu kan. So the same thing, you go there, you open a table, and then whenever got car stop, then you ask the car, hey, mau beli some nasi lemak from me or not, like that. So after that, maybe every month end you make some money. Then sometimes good, sometimes bad, kan, because raining. Sometimes the sun come out too hot, then you cannot go out because you feel sick. You know. Now, so you look at this guy opening a store at the traffic light, right?
Okay, let me give a contrast. Then we ask them which one will give you dividend.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So another friend also sells nasi lemak, but this guy, he doesn't have the best recipe in the world, but he is a little bit smarter. He say, I don't want to go under the sun and knock on everyone's window and ask them whether you want to buy nasi lemak or not. So why not I do this? I do a subscription plan, because I know every day you will use this road to go back home. So I tell you, why not you pay me 100 ringgit a day? Every time you pass this road,
100 ringgit a month.
Yeah, 100 ringgit a month. Every time you passes this road, I will give you a pack of nasi lemak.
And maybe his friend, right? Just nice, his friend is the CEO of KPMG, one of the audit firm. And he talked to the boss, and then he said, hey, you know what? I'm cooking very good nasi lemak. Then the boss say, hey, you know what? I pow like that lah. Every month you send 1,000 packet to my office also.
Yeah. So log in already one.
So now one is Frankie's nasi lemak store, where already logged in already. Every month, confirm he send 1,000 packet to KPMG, and then also got people will subscribe to it.
Every
pay 100
day I
ringgit.
will give them
Now,
a pack.
For Peter's nasi lemak store,
every day go under the sun.
My nasi lemak is the best, but I don't know all this. So what I do is that I just open a store right beside the traffic light there, and whenever got car come, then I knock. So which company, which nasi lemak store do you think will earn more money?
Uncle Robin like nasi lemak lah. So I think the nasi lemak, the one that give nasi lemak like Frankie store would actually give dividend lah. I think so lah.
Precisely, you are correct. So you see, sometimes a lot of people think until very, very complicated. No need so complicated one. It is actually just a very simple business decision thing. It's a very simple analysis of a business. You see how the fella do the business, you can roughly gauge like, oh, because Frankie's Nasi Lemak company already got every year contract, every day need to send X amount of Nasi Lemak. So even though Peter's Nasi Lemak may be very good, but if raining that day, he got no business. If the day too hot, he got no business. If MCO happen again, then no car go out, he also got no business.
Don't MCO anymore. Uncle Robin needs the roadside nasi lemak. I tell you. Okay, since we are in this, so there is one question from our viewer, Maxwell. Okay, the question is, they want to ask. I don't know why they ask Uncle, but I think should ask Peter and Frankie. Which company got good dividend yield? But once again, I want to tell you what Peter and Frankie is advising and telling you all, it's eventually up to you to decide whether it's a good investment or not. Don't say we all say here on Astro AWANI, then you go invest, then maybe result not so good. No nasi lemak, no free nasi lemak, you don't blame. Okay, so yes, so the question from Maxwell, which company now got good dividend yield one?
Okay. Let me take this question. So I think to keep Astro AWANI and so Mr. Money TV safe, I'm going to answer this question in a different manner. So instead of telling you which company is good for dividend, maybe we can share what sector or what industry is good for dividend. Right? So
industry.
No, but there are different type of business models within the nasi lemak industry, you see. So you need to find the correct business model that is able to pay sustainable dividend. So those industries can be a very good area for you to look for your dividend stocks.
Yes, and good thing about this, right? Just for the audience out there who are watching right now, if let's say you are sensitive towards Sharia compliance stocks, right? The good news for people who are looking for Sharia compliance stocks is usually Sharia compliance stock are usually quite focused on dividend payout one, because the natural business model is like that. Yeah, so I'll pass it back to Frankie first.
Correct. So a few examples of good dividend yield sectors would be, let's say, telco operators, Maxis, DG, Celcom. You know, economy good, economy bad, you still need to subscribe to your mobile package.
That's right.
So every month you need to pay your subscription fee. So that's where they get their sustainable cash flow. At the end of the day, they can pay you a good dividend. Another type of good dividend yield kind of sector would be very, very long and established businesses like, let's say, Nestle, Amway, you know, this kind of very,
very old business.
Very old business.
Yeah, very long already.
You know, this kind of businesses can also generate very good dividend yield to investors. Do you have any other sectors that you want to share?
I think one more will be banking. Banking is quite popular with dividend. Yeah.
Yeah, once you take a loan, you're stuck with them for 30 years.
Correct. Yeah. So with the 30 years, they confirm got income. So just like the nasi lemak example that we give, if by now you should notice that already, right? Yeah, it's all about recurring income. I think another one more that we can talk about will be plantation, right?
Plantation is also a good example. Because plantation, once you plant a tree and once the tree starts to grow fruits, the fruits will just keep coming out every now and then, right?
Yeah.
So
talking, sorry to cut you a bit, right? Talking about it, my house actually, last time we have a rambutan tree. Whether I like it or not, every year there's rambutan. So the same idea here. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think that's good enough.
Yeah. So when you talk about all these very quite very stable punya company, so Uncle got a bit of financial knowledge lah. So Uncle got this question before, you know. So Uncle punya cousin punya adik punya wife, and then punya mother-in-law, punya kawan, punya anak so very young one lah. So just started working. So is actually dividend investment a good choice for him because I think you want to go and actually go and buy stock at this very good stable company the share price sometimes can be very expensive. So what do you think maybe Frankie can take this question.
Okay, sure. Okay, first of all, when you talk about stock investment, when you say a stock is expensive, you don't look at it from the perspective of the price. Just to give you an example, if you want to buy a very expensive handphone, the fruit brand one, right? So that phone generally costs 5,000 ringgit today, right? But what if somebody comes and sell you this particular phone for just 1,000? Now, is this 1,000 considered expensive or cheap? Right? So it all boils down to the value of the things that you buy. So same for stock investment. Even though on the surface the price may seem very expensive, wow, 50 ringgit or 70 ringgit or 100 ringgit. But if the value can actually give you 200, 300, 500 ringgit, then this 100 ringgit stock is actually cheap. Then you should be investing in this 100 ringgit stock instead of another stock that is 20 cents, but actually the net asset value of the company is only 5 cents.
Yeah, I think the point that Frankie was trying to say is that at the end of the day, stocks is just like a lot of consumer good that we see. Like for example, maybe you see a T-shirt. The T-shirt is 50 ringgit. Then another T-shirt is 1,000 ringgit. But if you look closely at the tag behind there, then maybe you see the 50 ringgit T-shirt is actually a T-shirt from Taobao or Shopee only. And then you see the 1,000 ringgit T-shirt, right? Is actually a Supreme T-shirt crossover with LV. Now 1,000 ringgit for that T-shirt is actually very cheap, you know, because it was supposed to be about 5,000 to 8,000 ringgit, but now it's selling only at 1,000. But that Taobao T-shirt that's at 50 ringgit, you could have just gone to Taobao and bought it for maybe 10 ringgit or 20 ringgit. So you can't judge a stock by the price tag. Yeah, you have to see what is inside. Now, having said that, on the other hand, I understand for a lot of young people, they may feel that like, tak cukup duit sekarang. No matter what you say, at the end of the day, to buy stocks, I still need a lot of money. But actually, that's not true because there are good quality stocks that are around 1 ringgit per unit. And minimum on the stock market, when you want to buy a stock, it's about minimum 100 units. So if let's say it's 1 ringgit per unit, it's only 100 ringgit. I believe any fresh grads will have 100 ringgit. Yeah. And nonetheless, yes, some people may say if I'm a fresh grad and I buy a stock at like 500 ringgit only, end of the day, then my transaction fee itself it's going to be more expensive. I think yes and no, because if you think about it, if you're just investing for very short term, like you're going to go in and then come out tomorrow for 500 ringgit, I'll say, yeah, you better be careful with your transaction fee because you today buy, next week you sell like that, then you're going to take into account of transaction fee. But if you're buying dividend stocks and you're looking at the long term, maybe today you buy, you only sell it 5 years later. So you can't really take into account like that. And number two, we all know this one thing, sikit-sikit, lama-lama jadi bukit kan. So if you don't start now, then you're gonna keep waiting. And in my experience as a planner over the last 10 years, what I learned is this: people who tell me they don't start investing because they don't have enough money, so they say they cannot set aside 100 or 500 ringgit. By the time they are very rich, when they have like 5,000 a month to set aside, also they don't dare to buy on. Because buying a stock, the truth is when it comes to investing, it's more emotional than logical sometimes for a lot of people, especially for people who just started. Yeah, it's very hard to click the buy button. You'll be very scared. Ask you go and buy a Spade burger, spend for 1 million. Give stock, scared this, scared that, scared lose money. But go out and play, no problem. Go for a holiday, 500, 1,000, no problem. Buy a stock, you say can keep for 20 years and make you millionaire. Think 20 times only there to buy. So my suggestion is, if you are a fresh grad, it is possible, but you cannot expect to turn into Bill Gates overnight lah. Yeah, you will need to follow the process lah, because you start small.
Yeah,
But
correct.
it's good to start early.
Yeah, this is a very good response, because I think now young people, they don't see the value in investing as in stocks, and then stocks will eventually give good dividend yield one, you know. So it's actually very good that to know that for young people, actually with 100 ringgit 1 month, can also go into investment already. But okay, I think we have to take this question. Okay, this is from Muhammad Sofi. Sorry, uncle, pronunciation not very good. So if I pronounce your name wrong, sorry. So the question is, okay, how do you know which company actually offer dividend? Where to find? Any website that I can refer to?
If based on history paying dividend every year, means that this company is likely to continue to pay you dividend going forward. You can also find information on their annual report, because in the annual report, they will specifically tell you whether a company has a dividend payout policy in place. Very often, very established company like, let's say, Maxis, they will put down there and say that, oh, we have a dividend payout policy of, let's say, 20% of our net income, which means to say that if next year they make a certain amount of net profit, then you just take that amount of profit, you times 20%, that amount of money is going to be your dividend. So these are the ways to filter out all the dividend stocks.
Yeah. I'll go to even more basic for those people who that is actually to assess like how much dividend you can get and to look at dividend stock more closely. But for those people who actually just started, right, and you're wondering what company will pay dividend, what you need to do is usually your brokerage account itself will have a stock screener, something that allow you to build a watch list one. The name is called stock screener lah. Basically, no other explanation lah. Basically, it's like a filter like that, you know. Like I want to look for stocks that has what like that. Then you just click lah. So what you need to do is you key in the dividend yield lah. If let's say you want a stock with about 4% dividend yield at least, then you put there. There will be an option for you to choose like dividend yield 4%. Then only those stocks with dividend yield will appear in your stock screener. Then there you can start picking the stocks that has dividend.
I think the basic question, even my friend Auntie Susan also maybe want to know, when you say the stock brokerage account, how do you go and open an account like that, and where to go? Maybe Frankie can help on this one.
Actually, you can go to any investment banks in Malaysia. Those are registered with Bursa and SC. They will all have reminders and also customer service to help you with your account opening.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's I think there are some that allows you to open online directly now, like M Plus and Rakuten.
Yeah.
You can just go online itself and then go and apply for an account online directly.
Okay. So I just want to take one more question from the audience. Okay, this is from Chris lah. Say, can we expect dividends from most sectors, or only certain sectors will give dividends?
Very good questions. Not all sectors is able to pay you dividend. For example, like let's say we use the example of nasi lemak again. So kita nasi lemak store every day go out on the road and knock on people's window to sell nasi lemak, right? And in order for him to expand, he needs to put in more money to set up more stores in different highways.
Yep.
So in this case, all the money will be plowed back into the business to generate higher income. Now, for an operation like Peter's Nasi Lemak store, he will not be able to pay you a dividend. So dividend will only comes when a company is very established and it can generate a very good free cash flow for a sustainable period. So only that kind of industry is able to give you a dividend.
Yep. So pay attention to the kind of industry. if the kind of business that you're looking at for the company that you want to invest is the kind that need to constantly reinvest money back one.
High growth one.
Need to keep reinvesting money to expand business one. Then they won't give you dividend or usually. So, but if let's say the company is like, they don't need to spend a lot of money to grow the business. Just sit there so the business can grow. Then they got extra money, give you dividend.
Oh.
So yeah, that's the.
So from the sound of it, it's like dividend payout. You buy stocks with actually good dividend payout. It's like a very good long term and a very constant kind of passive income. So, you know, for people like uncle, old people like uncle, I know the heart cannot take one. Rugi a bit in the stock market or whatever also will have a bit of heart attack one. So would you recommend dividend as like one of the top investment for retirement fund?
Means Uncle Robin is a risk-averse investor. For risk-averse investors, then yes, you should have more dividend stocks in your portfolio. So the proportion of it should be higher. Then a smaller proportion, you can use it for other areas in a stock market, like growth stocks or maybe some speculative stocks and things like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you are the kind of person who every day will check your stock count, and then if you drop by 10 or like 1-2%, so you very kanchong one, then maybe eventually stock is not the thing that is for you because at the end of the day, stock price will always move. So especially if you are investing for dividend purpose, right? You are looking at even a longer horizon. So for an investment that you're going to keep for 5 years or 10 years, right? All the more the price will be moving. You see, like for example, maybe today 1 ringgit, tomorrow 1 ringgit and 1 cent. The third day will reach 1 ringgit and 20 cents. But then the fifth day suddenly drop back to 1 ringgit and 10 cents, and then drop back all the way down to 95 cents like that. Then it go back up again until 1 ringgit again. So it's just gonna be up and down like that one. So you gotta be able to tahan that feeling and remember that you are investing over a long term. You're not looking at taking out the money tomorrow. Yeah.
I think if like that, if Uncle Robin want to go really into investment like this, I need to buy more insurance and buy more supplement also, so the heart can actually take this kind of investment. So okay So I'm gonna take this one more.
Once you make money from stock, you can use dividend to buy.
Yeah, that is very correct. So yes, maybe that is a very, very good plan also. So moving on, I will also take this one more question. Okay, so this question is actually from Wei Kiet. Okay, how about the glove stock? It seems like a lot of companies started to turn to do this kind of business. Now because of the pandemic, and then I think glove stock. So what do you think?
Okay. So generally, when you talk about glove stocks, year in, year out, without the pandemic, right? These glove sectors, the organic growth is about 8 to 10%, which means to say that as and when countries become more advanced, they become more hygienic, they are more aware of cleanliness and all that, so they will start using glove. So because of that change in behavior, the organic growth for glove is around 8 to 10%. Now we are in an era of the pandemic, so people use gloves more often. You go to restaurants today. Also, some people would use gloves. You go to the market, you push a trolley. People also put on gloves.
Yeah.
So that actually increase the demand for rubber gloves. And I think this new norm is going to stay for a very long period of time. So which means to say that there's a structural change in the glove sector. So in the past, the growth was about 8 to 10% organically. Today, it may be, say, 12 to 15%. So because of the structural change, therefore, even though Malaysia is the largest glove manufacturer in the world, I think we are not able to keep up with that kind of demand. And I think because of that, many companies companies see the opportunity, so they jump into the business as well. But what you need to be aware of is that it is not to say that you produce a glove then you can straight away sell. Because for surgical glove especially, in order for your glove to be sold to a hospital, it needs to be certified. And to get that certification, it usually takes at least 2 to 3 years. So if you are a new boy in the market, this is the first time that you're going to produce gloves and you don't have any certification, you will likely be in trouble because nobody's going to buy your gloves.
Yep. Yeah. So I think it's important for people who are looking at the glove market. I hope by now those who are watching and are a little bit more familiar with the stock market, you must know that there are different kind of gloves in the market. Yeah, there is industrial glove.
Industrial glove.
The one where you do kemahiran hidup, the white color glove, the gardening one, those kind of things.
Yeah.
And there is the medical glove. So medical glove is the one that hospital use.
And that is the one that is having shortages,
Yes.
not any other kinds. Any
That
other
is the
kinds
one
is
that's
still
having
okay.
shortages.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on the normal basis, actually, the glove business for healthcare glove, the margin is not very high one. Yeah, but lately it's very high thanks to pandemic lah. Yeah, that's why the margin is very high now lah, because the selling price jacked up like crazy ma. But everyone must remember also this one thing: after 2 to 3 years, everything will normalize. So you may want to pay attention to what is 2 to 3 years ahead. Will it be sustainable or not? Yeah.
Okay, you take one more question. So this one now we combine these two questions together lah. This is from Sashindran and Alejandro Evander. Wow, this is a very difficult but beautiful name. Okay, so what would be future of all the airline now, all the the pandemic lah? Is it good choice? Or maybe into tourism, entertainment stock? What do you guys think?
I think when it comes to, I think if you're talking about airline, it depends on which airline that you're talking about. But we know one thing generally for most airline, in order to survive this period, they are taking on a lot of debts. They are taking on a lot of extra debt. So because of that extra debt, even after when pandemic recovers, people can start traveling again. They need to make more money than normal to pay back people. So that is one thing that people may need to consider. Now, on the other hand, when we talk about tourism side, yes, it is certainly one area just waiting for the right time. I may put it this way: if don't need to say until so big lah, just say that if any one of y'all here watching, you have an Airbnb near KLCC. Well, again, the same thing, right? You're probably just waiting for a pandemic to end, and by then there will be tourists coming back and it'll be fine. But then again, the question is, when will it end lah? And before it ends, will you need to sell off your property or not lah? So if today you can find a good company in tourism that is not in any bad financial situation, then maybe it's something that you can keep it into your watch list, because by the time when we are allowed to travel again, then it could mark a very good opportunity at that point. Yeah. Frankie, anything to add?
Nope, very good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one we talk about. I think this question comes in. I think it will hit a lot of us lah, because we were young before. Uncle was also young before lah. So this question is actually from K. Should I invest if I'm a 20-year-old uni student with pocket money, 600 save a month? So this one because 600 ringgit a month have to cover maybe, I don't know, accommodation lah, makan lah, all that. So do you think that it is wise for K to actually invest this pocket money of RM 600 ringgit save a month?
For me, personal opinion, I think that if you can save up 600 ringgit a month, means extra money lah, then my only thing is, if I'm you, I would invest lah, because I think my greatest regret is when I was a student, I didn't save enough money lah. I was so busy spending money. What about yourself, Frankie?
Well, if you can save 600 ringgit a month and if you don't do anything about it, next year that 600 ringgit can buy you less things.
Yeah.
So instead of waiting for the 600 ringgit to depreciate, why not let the money work for you and earn some maybe interest or dividend or make some capital gains?
Yeah, it's 7,200 ringgit a year, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years is already 15,000 close to.
15,000, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think actually as a student, I think it's the best time to start saving, because by the time you start working, you may have a lot more expenses that you need to bear and you can't save.
Correct.
So as a student, start saving, use this money and start investing. Yeah.
Yes. So you know lah, so invest a bit lah, try a bit here and there, wet your water a bit. Okay. So we want to move on. So Frankie and Peter, so you say dividend, it's actually a good choice lah when it comes to passive income and also retirement fund lah. Okay. So Uncle also want to know what is like your portfolio to go to, what industry? Just now I remember you two talking about plantation. Is it a good place or industry to go to? Or maybe you have an example or case study you want to share with us?
Speaking of that, actually tomorrow we will be doing a deep dive on one of the plantation stock. Sorry?
Yeah, Friday.
Oh, Friday, sorry.
Yeah.
Friday, not tomorrow. Yeah, so Friday we are going to deep dive into a plantation stock. So if you guys are interested to find out more about this plantation stock that gives you more than 7% dividend yield, then you can actually come and join us on Friday.
Yeah, I think one thing when we talk about sectors to invest in, I mean, I myself used to feel that plantation is a very boring company lah, and especially last time the CPO price. So for those of you who do not know, basically plantation in Malaysia are mostly oil palm, and oil palm is very dependent on CPO, which is crude palm oil, the oil that is extracted from the fresh fruit bunch of the palm oil lah. You know that picture they always see, that fruit bunch. Yeah. Now the point is, yeah, this year, last year and this year, what happened is the CPO price started going up, and this year hit its all-time high. That's what got it really like sexy again, in that sense.
Correct.
Yeah, very exciting again, because suddenly price so high, from 2,000 plus now 4,000 plus, so 4, almost double.
Yeah.
Right.
So what we did was we looked for companies whereby the trees are generating the best
best
amount
profit
of the max amount of fruits. So the fruits in oil, they can sell it at record high price, which will become higher than it can pay you more than.
Correct. So the thing is that now in this time, when you're talking about case study, I think the easiest is we just throw this out as a case study, right? So because of the CPO price going up, then we started looking at, okay, great. Number one, palm plantation itself is actually a very good business model for dividend, because like we say, right? The rambutan tree in front of my house, every year I don't do anything, also grow rambutan one. So same thing in plantation. So whether they do much or not, it's still gonna grow fruits. And when you grow fruits, you'll sure sell. Now, and number two, palm oil is actually the biggest edible oil in the world. Yeah, most people use palm oil at the end of the day. Yeah, because it's cheap. It's something that we use very common. If you drink Milo, if you ever eat Cadbury chocolate, there's palm oil inside one, no worries. So sure jalan already. So this kind of business model is good for dividend. And that's why we started looking at plantation as one sector that we want to see for dividend. And plus also this year has been quite a volatile market. The market has been uncertain. Everyone keeps talking about market crash again, this and that. So it's good to actually have dividend as part of the portfolio to be
to cushion your portfolio.
Yeah, to be a cushion. So we found this company that has more than 7% dividend return. Yeah, which is very good, because today your FD rate is like what?
1.75.
1.75. Yeah. So we came about finding this company 7% plus. Yeah. And a lot of people didn't even look at this company because it is so quiet. Yeah. Frankie, you want to tell more about it?
Tell more about it. So basically, when we talk about plantation, right, it's all about the trees. And the trees, when you talk about the trees, because it is a living thing, so as a young tree, it can fruits. If the tree is old, it can produce a lot of fruits. So that's the very basic idea of it. So how we found this company is because the age profile of the plants are very, very young, and they are just coming into the prime age whereby they can produce the most amount of fruits. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So combined with, you know, good CPO price and then a good age profile for trees.
This company is
nice company.
This company is at the right place at the right time. So
Yeah.
very interesting.
Right. Yeah. I think the poster itself that we showed just now already got the name of the company itself. Yeah, called Price. Yeah. But generally, like I say again, this is not stock investment advice. There's no, it's not asking you to invest in any stock. So
yeah,
please don't use this information for investment. Yeah.
So basically,
in order to sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Frankie.
Okay, so in fact, to help you to further research about this company, so on Friday, what we'll do is we will deep dive into the business model of the business. We will tell you how, what is the characteristics of a palm oil tree, how do they grow, and then what is the process to extract the oil out from the fruits, and then how does all these processes turn into revenue, and then eventually the company can pay you a dividend. Yep. So it will give you a complete comprehensive picture for you to understand how a company generates revenue. And I think it is very important because without understanding the business model and you just buta go and buy a stock, it is pretty much like gambling your money because you wouldn't know what price you enter, and because you everything blur, you don't know when to sell the stock as well. So that can be quite dangerous.
Yeah. Remember, Uncle Robin, just now earlier you say, right? Or if you want to invest in stock, you want to buy more supplement because you takut the price go up, go down. Yeah, actually, when it comes to stock investment, buy supplement also not so effective. What is most effective is you learn more. Because when you know what you are investing in and you understand the business, then you are not so scared. Yeah. So when the price go up or go down, also you know what is the real value. It is like people buy Yeezy boots. People who collect sneaker they buy Yeezy boot. Then when they first buy the boots, then after that they may go online and see. They will see the price go up, go down. But if you understand the boot, you know how to collect, then you're not scared because you know the stock in your hand. Anytime can sell 5,000 ringgit. Yeah, because you know that the one is limited edition. So even if tomorrow someone say, hey, 4,200 sell, you know that the one is desperate seller, eventually will go back up to 5,000 because the value. Yeah. So it's very important when it comes to investment.
So basically, I think now Uncle also feel like Uncle still got a lot more to learn at this age. So okay, so Frankie and Peter, so you will be having a session on Friday. So maybe can you share again where can we go to actually join whatever you are about to say on this coming Friday?
I think the first thing that you can do is go to our Facebook. Yeah, it's Mr. Money TV. Go and like our Facebook page. And then follow us there. Yeah, and then there will be our poster there. But at the same time also, I think we have it at the offers there. Yeah, you can check out the offers column. Yeah, click there and you can find our poster and information. Join us. Yeah.
Okay.
So do go to Facebook and Instagram, Mr. Money TV. Click like and follow.
Okay, very, very nice. Okay, so time is now very, we don't really have much time left, so we only go for dua lagi question. Okay, so this question, okay, this is Uncle also want to know lah. This is from Xiang Wayne. Roughly how much do we need to invest so that can finally goyang kaki?
I think that's a very, very good question.
It's a very subjective question because if you every day also need to eat abalone that one you need to invest a lot of money. Only you can get enough dividend to sustain that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
But if you live a simple life, you know, you don't need that much money, then you don't need to invest that much.
Yeah, it all depends on your lifestyle. Let us put it this way. Generally, if you put it on the safe side, you can easily get around, if you have been investing for the past 10 years and, you know, continuously investing in those stocks that are good, probably your dividend yield will be at about 8%, I would say, right? Including, you know, your price appreciation. You have invested many years ago and it was cheaper. Now the dividend keep going up, let's say 7 to 8%. So let's take it more conservative. We are looking at about 7% a year of dividend 10 to 20 years later, right? Then if your lifestyle every month you need to spend 2,000 ringgit. If let's say you spend 2,000 ringgit, I think today there was a paper that came out and said that minimum lifestyle in KL is actually 3,000 plus ringgit. So let's say if it's a 3,005, then you do some calculation, or so 3,005 per month is, you know, the minimal that you need to survive. 3,005 times 12, that's 42,000. So if let's say 42,000, then you need, if it's 42,000,
well, while you're calculating your
let me calculate it.
thing, right? Today while I was listening to the radio, there was this very interesting topic that they were discussing. So they were saying that in the 1940s, right, the new generations that come out to work, 80% of them was able to earn a salary that is higher than their parents. Now, fast forward to the 80s, right, that percentage has dropped to 50%. And then fast forward to today, in the 21st century, we ask ourselves, can we really earn better earnings compared to our parents? It is something very hard to achieve. Now, in this kind of market and in this kind of situation, I think it is more important for us to let our money to work for us so that we can have that supplementary income to support our lifestyle. Not even our lifestyle, to help us to go through this kind of economic difficulties.
Yeah. So I've calculated, if you need 3,500 ringgit to survive every month, and let's say you get about 7% in dividend, you need to have about 600,000 invested. So as long as you got about 600,000, then every year you take about 7%. Yeah, that's about 42,000. Yeah.
So I think the most important one, I think for all of us, young people, old people, when you really want to really go Goyang Kaki, you must learn first. You know, add more knowledge to yourself. Like join more webinars on LINC, on Astro AWANI, or maybe join Frankie and Peter, you know, on Mr. Money TV. So okay, time is very, very, very tight now. So last question, okay, last question. This question, what is actually worse than a divorce?
Sorry.
What is worse than a divorce?
Yeah.
What is worse than a divorce?
What is worse than a divorce? Die.
What is worse than a divorce? I think divorce is the worst thing that I can think about. Good.
Death.
Death.
The answer is the stock market crashes. You know what?
No, stock market crashes gives you opportunity to buy.
At the same time, you are invested in the stock market crashes, you lose half your assets, but your wife is still around.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Okay.
You need to give away half to your wife, and then you
yeah.
lose money somewhere. Okay.
Okay lah, that's actually all the time we have. You know, Uncle that were, you know, it's already late, 10 a.m. But okay. But before we really go lah, okay, Mr. Money and Frankie, do you have anything else? Just a short one to say to the audience.
Well, stock investing is not that complicated. It is not difficult. But one very crucial thing is to really read more, read the news, read the newspaper, involve yourselves more in the social events. Don't just look at your phone. Don't just go on the social media, because a lot of information and a lot of knowledge are actually out there. and you need to be out there to actually absorb all this knowledge to yourself. And with all this kind of information, it is definitely going to help you in your forward.
I think what I'll say is just the best time to invest is now. Yeah. So don't wait. Just start. But starting investing doesn't mean tomorrow straight away go and put your money into a stock. It means start studying, start learning, start figuring out a strategy and executing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Right.
I hope you're listening, you will have some takeaway or bungkus some information from this webinar. So, and hope you're put into good use and also expand a bit on your knowledge in investing. So, okay. Thank you, Peter and Frankie and Uncle Robin and all of us here. We really appreciate you to talk to, especially like old men like me like Uncle Robin here Okay. So, okay. So, jika anda suka ini webinar, so jangan lupa bagi itu 5-star rating, okay. So, if you've got any comments or what's not, please send to link.astroawani.com. Also, jangan lupa. So, we have also other webinars on Astro Awani, okay. So, next Monday, 3 Mei, sempena itu hari World Press Freedom Day 2021. We got another webinar titled Kebebasan Media Hari Ini untuk Hari Esok yang Cerah. Wow, this one long uncle, so not much breath this one, the title so long. Okay, so this webinar next Monday will be on 11:30 pagi. So register now at link.astroawani.com. Thank you and selamat malam, and thank you again once again, Peter and Frankie. Thank you very much.
Right. Thanks for having us.
Okay, thanks for having us. See you. Bye.